It's really interesting. For the most part, I didn't have many formal lessons. I started off learning on YouTube, and so really throughout my career, I've learned the most from just watching folks play and then playing with folks. And so I've been so incredibly lucky to have been able to surround myself with not only musicians that I've learned so much just from watching from, but just really nice, supportive musicians. Not only amazing, because sometimes they're not both, and so it means a lot.
That's
that
true.
that most of, if not all of, the ones I've met have been up to this point, and that just really means the world because you look up to them for so long, and I've been really fortunate that I have met some of my heroes and lived up. So I've learned so much from watching them. So getting to either play with them or talk to them or just be in the presence of it's a whole nother learning experience that I'm always grateful to kind of soak up.
That's a cool way to look at it. I always have looked at it that way too in my career as well. Like there's people I've always wanted to meet from television, from radio, from films, and you hope that when you meet the various people, like in my case, have conversations, interviews, whatever, host shows with them or whatever, you hope that they're going to meet the buildup you have in your mind of what you expect them to be like. And when they do meet, if not exceed what you hope, it's a pretty cool thing, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. It kind of enforces the more I love them, the more you listen, right? So
Yeah.
being a huge fan of them and getting to soak up all of the knowledge that they have, just seeing them play or talk or whatever it is, and then getting to actually speak with them and know them on a more personal level, it just encourages me to dive even deeper and learn even more. So any chance I get, I try to learn, and that's really a great way to do it.
How were you able to, because you started, was it like around age 9?
Yes. Yeah,
So
that's really when I first picked up guitar.
9, and we actually have a cool shot. I don't know if this was around 9, but that's a cool shot. Now this is a
Yes,
guy
that
that
was
is
9.
serious about what he wants to do right there.
Yes, it's funny that guitar, which is
Beautiful.
these days it's more of a conversation piece on the wall than
Yeah.
something I actually play. But
Yeah.
when I was very young, maybe 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, a friend of the family had given me a guitar because they weren't using it anymore, and it made noise, and so to a
Yeah.
2-year-old that was amazing, right?
Absolutely.
So I never learned how to play, and then it sat and collected dust. And then when I was 9, he ended up wanting it back. It was his first guitar. He was feeling sentimental, and at that point, I hadn't seen this guitar in years. So I was like, yeah, just take it, whatever. And he came that day to take it, and he gifted me that and said, I feel so bad
Wow.
for. But that was kind of too nice a guitar to have and not even try to learn how to
Yeah.
play. So he taught me my first couple chords that day, and then I would go on YouTube, and that's really how it started.
Was the guitar the first instrument that you got involved with first for you?
It was, yeah. Yeah, when I was entering fourth grade, this was, I guess I got the guitar spring of my third grade year. And I knew that fourth grade was the year that music class started in my town.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had general music and maracas and recorders and stuff. But in terms of like
Right.
sitting down in band, I had been toying with maybe next year I'll play the saxophone. And then when I got the guitar, I kind of took the summer to decide, do I want to stop guitar and pick up saxophone or no? And so I've never played a saxophone to this day. I kind of made my choice, but I'd love to one of these times. I just haven't had time yet.
It's because you're so focused on everything else. Well, you got guitar and keyboard and everything else. So you're good at playing by ear as well. Were you able to pick up playing by ear right away?
Yeah, especially not having any formal training,
Yeah.
at least in the beginning, and I don't have any classical training. So for the
Unbelievable.
most part, it was going on YouTube and seeing, playing what I could figure out, and that has snowballed. That's really still how I learned. So I've been able to pick up a little bit more of, I can barely read. That's what I like to say. I can't sight read, but I know what the dots do. But when I started out, I didn't. So learning by ear is still my preferred way of going.
So, what was some of the music that eventually, or in the beginning time, you were really grasping, and when you were looking at YouTube and sort of picking up the music itself, what were you gravitating to?
Well, when I was 3, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers played the Super Bowl halftime show, and I was
Hmm.
allowed to stay up for half of the game, thinking maybe I'd get into football or something, which wasn't the case. But
Right, right.
so I watched, and I was mesmerized by Petty essentially from 3 to present. And so when I was 9, it was just, all right, I learned my first couple chords. Now I got to learn all the petty songs. So really, that was the first 10, 15 songs I learned. And then slowly, I started expanding a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. But that was what I was doing at the time. It was just looking at videos of him playing or looking at videos of other people playing those songs and trying to figure it out that way.
That's incredible. Who are some of the folks that, you've always enjoyed listening to as well? Of course, Tom Petty's music. Who are some other, of course, Bruce Springsteen from the Garden State and many others?
That's right. Yeah, yeah, it's funny. I was a little later to Springsteen than I was everyone else. I'm a huge John Hyatt fan, and Jackson Browne and everything like that, and that whole era. And of course, I like a lot of new music as well. But with Springsteen, he was kind of off my radar. But just playing in New Jersey, I had requests after, you play in New Jersey. Where's your Springsteen songs? And so
Right.
after a year or two of getting taunted, I finally learned one or two. The first one I learned was No Surrender, and then I learned Thunder Road. And I put them up on Facebook and kind of thought nothing of it. And they did really well, and suddenly this guy was hiring me. I was 12 at this time, so I guess technically I was 11, and then I turned 12. But anyway, he was hiring me. He hired me to play 2-hour sets in his hotel in London, or
Wow.
an hour north of London. And so after we determined that that wasn't a scam, because he was offering to fly a 12-year-old to across the ocean and
Yeah.
play, pay him to play gigs. That was maybe November I got that call, and it was for a January gig. So knowing 2 Springsteen songs, I really had to kick into overdrive and was kind of thrown in the deep end of learning as many as I could, as quick as I could.
Wow. Yeah, because in New Jersey, it would either be Springsteen, Bon Jovi, or Frank Sinatra, right? The big
That's
three.
right, yeah.
The big,
Yeah, and they're all great. Springsteen was
Yeah.
always closer in that Americana singer-songwriter vibe, so that was always who I had the comparisons to over the other 2 folks, but I love them as